Okay, and now for part 3. Practice questions level 3, variables on both sides. So that's kind of the main thing that I've noticed in Algebra 1 for ninth graders is that the questions they love to throw at you just have variables on both sides. And people are like, oh my God, that's too crazy. But it's really not. You just have to practice it so you're familiar with it. So my first bullet right here just literally says, please put the variables on the same side. So if you see variables and they're separated out, put them together. Remember, if they're stuck in parentheses, you gotta deal with that first. But for the most part, your main goal is to take those two variables, put them together first. After that, it's just algebra, what we just been doing. So for this first question, right, let's find my variables, x and x. I need to put them on the same side. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete them from one side. So let me go ahead and just pick, right? Do I want to put the x's on the left or do I want to put them on the right? I'm just going to go ahead and put them on the left. It does not matter. You kind of want to go for the easier one, but if you can't tell which one's the easier one, you'll be fine either way. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the left, which means I'm going to delete it from the right. So how do I delete or do the opposite operation of a minus 7x? Opposite of minus, plus 7x on both sides. Now, this is actually combining like terms, right? What is combining 13x plus 7x? 20x. Now, the rest, please, please, please copy it. Because if you don't, you're going to make a mistake. You just have to do algebra like this, in my opinion. I know some people don't. They'll pick like a whole different thing. But this is the way that you're really less likely to make a mistake. I can combine like terms again though. What's 33 divided by 33? Sorry, I'm tripping. What is 33 divided by 3? 11. I got an easy equation now. Minus 3 on both sides. 20x is equal to 8 divided by 20. X is equal to 8 over 20, which is equal to 4 over 10, which is equal to 2 over 5, which is equal to 0.4. Cool. Let's go ahead and try the next one. Okay. What do y'all see first? First. That starts with AP. Parentheses. Get rid of those because as you see, the variables are on both sides, but like I mentioned, they're stuck inside parentheses. You cannot combine them. You cannot do anything with them. So what I'm going to do, distribute. 4 times 2a is 8a. 4 times 3 is 12. Negative 3 times a is negative 3a. Negative 3 times negative 1. Negative times negative is a positive. So it's going to be plus 3 plus 31. I can do whatever I want to do next. Okay, many options. Let's go ahead and worry about the a's and put them together just like we did over here. Again, I'm going to put them on the left. That's going to be easier, but like whatever you want. So what is the opposite of a minus 3a? So that's going to be 11a plus 12, and then 3 plus 31 is left. Cool. 3 plus 31. Combine those. 11a plus 12 is equal to 34. Simple equation at this point. 11a is equal to 22 divided by 11. A is equal to 2. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. Notice like once you do that initial like cleaning of the equation, it basically looks the same like everything else. So that's kind of nice. And this is my last two example problems of level 3. In Algebra 1, you really shouldn't get anything past this other than the quadratics, which came up, but like are not the scope of this video. So, what do we love here? We love some fractions. So what are fractions? What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of division by doing multiplication. But just like we did over here, you kind of need to multiply the entire thing, right? Don't just multiply one little piece. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is look at my fractions. So I have two fractions. I have a 1/2 and a 1/4. You're going to need to figure out which fraction to use, but usually you're going to go for the one that has the greater number, right? Because if I was to multiply by 2, let me go ahead and try that actually. So let me just say, I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 2. 2 times 1/2 y minus 3 equals 2 minus 3 over 4 over y. So 2 times 1/2 is 1. Those will cancel, so I get y minus 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Equal sign is just a sign. 2 times 2 is 4. And then here I'm going to have a 2 times a negative 3 over 4. If y'all know about multiplying fractions, what we get is negative 6 over 4, which is also negative 3 over 2, which is still a fraction. And that's not cool because I want to get rid of the fractions. So when you use the smaller number to multiply, to clean up the fractions, it doesn't actually clean up everything. So what you really want to do is use the bigger number. So let me try that strategy. I'm going to multiply by 4. So 4 times 1/2. So 4 times 1/2 is equal to 4 over 1 times 1 over 2, also equal to 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So I'm going to have 2y minus 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I have 4 times 3 over 4. These 4's will cancel, and I will get 3y. Now I finally cleaned it up. So if that's something that you don't get, just please try to rewatch that, because that's like the only, it's just a little process of dealing with fractions, right? So that might just be something you need to refresh on. But once you have that, it's super nice and chill, right? And that, well, notice how it was one step. It was a bunch of little multiplication, but it's just one step. So let me just go ahead and do that problem. I have a y and a y. I put them on both sides by doing the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this 2y over here. And I'm going to get negative 12 is equal to 8 minus 5y. Now I'm trying to solve for y. So what I'm going to do is minus 8 on both sides. Let me get a negative 20 is equal to negative 5y divided by negative 5. And I'm going to get positive 4y. So that is my equation. Let us do one more. And please try to do this yourself, right? It's going to help you. So first thing I'm going to do, this one I just, there's a lot going on. And there's not just one right way to do it. But I just want to just try to think it through, right? So what you have here, let's just observe. What do we have? I have a fraction. I have a 1/2. Is that the only fraction? No. I have a something over 3 squared. Do y'all know what 3 squared is? 9. I'm just going to put a number sign. Something over 9. All right. Okay. I also have parentheses, which is something that is really important, significant. Where are my variables? The variables are on both sides. So there's a lot going on here. I think this would be counted as a challenge problem. But they like to challenge you. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just the easiest thing first. So that 9, I'm just going to go ahead and replace it. I'm going to put 1/2, 2 plus n equals 3n plus 4 over 9. Okay. So I have two fractions. What did we say about multiplying by the thing to remove the fraction? What's going to help more usually? Usually multiplying by the bigger number. So let me go ahead and do that. Oops. Oh no. Oh boy. Technical difficulty. My pen. Okay, cool. Got it. So I'm going to multiply by 9. So 1/2 times 9 is actually going to be 9 times 1 over 1 times 2, which is 9. So I'm going to still be left with the fraction, but we're just going to rock with this for right now. Now, these 9s will cancel, so I'm left with 3n plus 4. So that 9 deleted itself, right? That 9 was able to delete the thing that I was aiming for, but I still have a 2 as a fraction, so I can just go ahead and multiply everything by 2 now. So notice how that's like a little bit more work, but it's just these things didn't match. Whereas the last time we did this, the 4 and the 2, if y'all noticed, those are both even numbers. They're common multiples. So like they just, when you delete one, the other's gonna just naturally go away too. So anyway, these gonna delete. So I'm gonna have 9, 2 plus n is equal to, now I have to multiply this 2 by the 3n, which is 6n, and the 2 by the 4, which is gonna get me 8. Okay, got rid of the fractions. Please clean up your fractions first. What are fractions? They are division. Do the opposite of division. Just multiply that stuff out. Okay, I have parentheses. Now, what can I do? Different strategies. I can distribute or divide. For me, I want to distribute right now. I'm going to do 18 plus 9n equals 6n plus 8. Okay, I have variables on both sides. Obviously, I've been having variables on both sides, but the thing was, the variables were inside stuff. They were inside parentheses. They were inside fractions, so I couldn't touch them until now. So I'm going to delete them from one side. 18 plus 3n equals 8. Ooh, this one's going too far. I'm going to minus 18 on both sides. 3n is equal to negative 10. So n is equal to negative 10 divided by 3. And that's the whole thing. So what I'm going to do for the sake of my space is go ahead and delete that. And then try and move all my math up here. Okay, so that was my examples. The thing with math is that it's just so much, I just think it's so great to learn with examples. So let me wrap it up. In summary, what are you solving for? Please tell me out loud. Just say it. What are you solving for? A variable, x, a, whatever, y, don't care. You're isolating the variable. You're getting it by itself, which means that you're going to delete everything around it. How do you delete them? What kind of operations do you do? There's 2 correct answers right here. Inverse or opposite operations. So obviously addition is the opposite of subtraction and vice versa, and multiplication is the opposite of division and vice versa. When you have parentheses, what do you do to remove them? You're going to distribute, what can you also do? Now, the note with divide, notice how I didn't divide that often today. I a lot distributed. If all you have is parentheses with a number and an equal sign, you can divide. But if you have a lot of stuff, don't divide, right? When you divide, when you add, when you subtract, you do it on both sides of the equation. So you're doing it to everything. And so you don't want to start dividing until that's the only thing left to do. Just like PEMDAS, right? We're doing it backwards. We're doing addition and subtraction first. So if you still have addition and subtraction over there, don't go ahead and divide, just distribute. And if you don't know, distribute will never fail you. It's good. So fractions, what are fractions? They are division. What's the opposite? Multiplication. You need to multiply to get rid of fractions. It's going to help you a lot. What do you do when you have variables on both sides? Put them on the same side. And like I did mention, it's kind of like combining like terms, because you're taking all the x's, you're combining them, right? You're deleting them from one side by the inverse operation, putting them together on the other side. So that's everything with solving equations that you need to know at this moment.